Right, so we are doing something unique. We've got a bunch of people in the office here today as well. So they're all joining us via Zoom, and so hopefully the internet holds up. That'll be great. We haven't tested it. Stress test. But all right, today, let me share the screen. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So marketing for listings in 2021. So it's a crazy year last year, and the market, as we kind of seen lately, is crazy, desperate for listings. So these are some ideas that you can do that will help you get listings this year. The first one is the 90-day CMA-a-thon using Google Earth. So this is a really cool and creative idea that, basically is semi-circle prospecting. You can kind of do it in contingent, but this is more of, taking a past client or someone who you have on your radar and doing a CMA via video with them, and kind of just talking about the comps. It kind of gives you that personal touch, and it gives them that ability to be there right with you while you're talking. So what you do is you pull up a past prospect or the current prospect, you take their home off of Google Earth, then you record the screen and you just talk into it, like basically recording a video, but you can kind of walk them through the comps. It gives the personal touch, which I said goes a long way. And then you can also put your marketing material at the end that shows, hey, it's Rob McCallum with Exit Right Realty, and I would love to interview for the possibility of listing your home, as now I've shown you what it's kind of worth. So it's kind of a cool idea. It's something that is new, and I have not seen anyone try it yet. So it's something that you can give a shot, and it would be, I think, unique and set you apart from others, because there's a lot of lazy realtors out there right now that are just like, hey, it's easy to list. So we're just going off of what we had and, getting them on and getting them off and keep going. So this is a unique thing that's going to set you up to, get some stuff moving forward and set you apart from most of the competitors. So it was one of the most interesting things that I saw when we were doing the research for today's training. And I would love to see some of you guys try this. This would be a really cool thing, and let us know what your results are. You just want to add, Colleen?
Yeah, I know I was saying, so the 90-day CMA-a-thon is pretty much do this once a year to anyone in your database. When you do pull up their property on Google Earth, it's almost like 100% open rate, because you're going to send them an email with their property. And I mean, who wouldn't want to open up, like literally with like an arrow pointing to their property, or you can highlight it or circle it, and it's just going to be like, hey, here's a free CMA. I want to just do like a market CMA on your house. We do it once a year because the market does change, and if you do a video, then it makes you more alive and it makes you more interactive, and people will want, if they're not thinking about listening now, they'll want to list with you in the future.
Correct. And some best practices for this, if you can send two or three a day, you're going to see some great results. So that's one of them. And you can use this for prospecting too. So if you don't know the person, but you have an area that you're trying to market, you can get the names and you can and try to find their emails, and you can send these out as well. If you're using a program like BombBomb or one of those video marketing campaign programs, that's very easy to track on who's opening it, who's looking at it, how long they're watching it for. And then obviously you can use those metrics to be able to, then be able to, see who you should be following up with a phone call. So that's a unique thing that I would love to see someone try, or a couple of you guys try, and let us know the results, because I think it's something that could do really, really well. All right, next slide. Magic buyer letter.
So this is pretty much, you can do this through direct mail, you can do this through email, any kind of form that you want, but you can also just, it talks about the marketing, it talks about the market, and you're reaching out because there's not a lot of properties out there for buyers. So you can reach out to sellers and just say, hey, listen, I had a listing, or someone you know had a listing in this neighborhood, and tell which type of demographic, like if there was a family who was looking to move into there, like a younger couple, just kind of explain it. They're looking to move, they're looking to buy in this neighborhood. Have you ever considered this thing? Have you ever considered? So it's just, you're making it more personal. And then you're also asking questions to describe their situation. So it's all about, you send these out once a year, and it's kind of just put you in front of them and put you in front of the buyers and whatnot. Rob, do you want to elaborate on this one?
Yeah, so it's basically just you're doing two things. You're doing what's in the best interest of your buyer, because they're struggling to get something in this kind of market, but you're also farming for listings. So if that doesn't end up being perfect for the buyer, you still potentially have now piqued the interest of that seller, to say, hey, listen, I didn't realize the market was that could do this. I do have a place to go, whatever it is, and they could end up now, listing with you and putting their marketing out there. So, we've seen how crazy it is. So you do have to get creative. This is just another way to get your buyers into a home, but also potentially get some listings, or at least some contacts for some future listings.
So, I mean, you could also just at the first year, just reach out to people and say, what's your plan? Even if they don't, and you want to do this generally for people who are 3 years, who've owned their property for 3 years in, and just asking like, what's their plan? If you're renting, would you like to buy? And asking like, this is a generic kind of email, or letter, but you will get responses back, and it's ultimately, you want to get them right before they start thinking, hey, I want to list this property, hey, I want you to move. Because then at that point, if they are and they're ready to go, you're too late. So you want to send out a letter like this the first of the year, and then like 5 months down, and just asking what their story is, what do they plan on doing, because you want to be that agent that they think of first. And this is going to, regardless, if it's going to start have them thinking, and they're going to remember who sent them the email, they're going to remember who sent them the letter. So it's all about just staying top of mind. Everyone knows at least 2 agents. You have to be the one that knows their situation, and that's what's going to set you apart from the other agent. You have to know their condition at that state of time, so that you can be remembered when they are ready to go.
Right. And if you also look at this example of something you can send, there's a couple of things. One, it's giving them statistics that listings are down, buyer demand is up. So that's creating a seller's market. And that's what you're seeing it's highlighting all those points, but it's also a call to action. Let me know ASAP, because I can prepare some useful information for you that will be incredibly helpful. So when you're writing these letters, it needs to be short, quick, concise, to the point, but it also needs to have some powerful language. So definitely make sure that you're getting the calls to action and those stats in these kind of letters, because it's going to be a quick read. They need to spend no more than 30 seconds reading it, so that way it's going to have the maximum effect for you. Mm-hmm. All right. So Zoom classes. So we always talk about education is power. So with this is something that you can offer. So we used to do some, when people were meeting live and whatnot, and we are getting back to that. I think governor just lifted all restrictions. But what you can do is this is a convenient way, even moving forward after the pandemic, is you can offer like the first time home buyer seminars. You can offer something, but this is a quick little short 30-minute class that you can invite people to on Zoom. But the cool thing is you can record Zooms, and you can then redistribute them. So even if you only get 4 or 5 people to the class, you can then send that out, and you can help other people learn the topics that maybe couldn't reach this class. But you're giving people the knowledge, and knowledge is the power for them to make wise decisions on what to do. So this can be anything from, as I said, first-time home buyers. It can be just a topic of how to navigate your listing, or best practices of buying, or whatever it may be, or what we do to help you strengthen your offers. It can be any number of things that you think your base or your clientele would be interested in, and then it's a good way to get them in the door. You are setting yourself up as the resident expert, and then they're actively looking to engage with you in the home buying or selling process. So these are some unique things that you can do. And as I said, we're looking for listings right now. So in particular, this would be more for a listing right now in this market, because you're looking for, obviously, to get some listings. Listings is power right now, and it just free flows from there. So this is just, it's a great way to generate some business for your leads, and especially because a lot of people can't take the time right now to leave work early, or get somewhere they have to get home. So this is something they can do. They can hop on a Zoom call wherever they are and listen in while you're talking, and then also ask their questions live. So it was a cool idea that is kind of post pandemic thinking, and something that could definitely be here to stay, because we've done these kind of events, and you'll have 10 people that register and only 3 show up. And then they have every excuse. Oh, I got held up at work, or I had to get home to make dinner, or whatever it was. My husband's sick, my wife's sick, whatever. This is a way that they could join in and ensure that they're actually there. So it was a good thought, and give it a try and see what you get out of it.
Okay, this one's really cool, actually. So if there's any particular neighborhood that you want to kind of market, and you do, it's called a 1-minute market update, and you can stand in front of a camera and just kind of give, we want to let you know the homes that sold in this neighborhood in the last month and what they sold for. And then you can kind of just go off on tangents, like this is the market update. And of course, if you wanted to know how the market's impacted the value of your home, I'd love to be able to just come by and just show you and show the things I'm going to do. But if you're thinking of selling, I'm the agent for you. And it's just really standing out and just doing a 1-minute video. I mean, people are going to stop and see it anyways, because you're standing in front of properties in a neighborhood, and just be excited about it. But it's just a 1 minute to catch people's attention before they leave, evaluation of the market and of the area that you want to kind of dominate, and you'll get noticed. And actually, even more so, if you want to put just even like $10 to $20 into Facebook advertising, you'll have a much bigger reach, and people will start seeing you and noticing you. They'll reach out to you. So it's a definitely cool kind of thing. I know people are nervous about getting in front of videos and doing videos, but videos are the new kind of communication on the internet. You have to be kind of fearless with it. You have to just start doing it, because people aren't reading anymore, and they're really you'll get triple noticed if you have a simple, fun video. So then if you advertise it too, you'll get noticed even broader. So definitely look into that and seeing how you can start putting that into your marketing campaign.
Yeah, we've all seen some of those videos now that have gone viral with, hey, I just listed this house and whatnot. And they do something funky, which comes up in a little bit as another, slide moving forward. But this is really about, again, this is keeping you top of mind. This is all stuff that is going to be setting you apart as the, neighborhood expert or the resident expert. And it's a involuntary way of them coming and saying, and instead of having to be active with you, this is a passive way, for them to be able to come and see you and what you're about without feeling like they have to commit to using you right away. And so the more that knowledge that you can provide them, the more they're going to know, like, and trust you. And then the more that they're going to be wanting to list with you or buy with you. So these are all things, especially Facebook, the live stuff, and because they love to see human elements. It's okay if you make a mistake on these. People actually like it. They end up, it makes you more real than something scripted or, recorded and re-recorded. So the Facebook Live actually has shown some really good results, because it just makes you human. And that's what people are looking to list with right now and work with, is the human experience. All right. Storytelling. So this is a huge one that I really like. Everyone likes hearing a story. Everyone likes telling stories. And it really gets them in touch with you as the person, who you are, what you're all about. this can be a story from clients. So instead of just a testimonial, oh yeah, they're great, have them go on camera and have them really tell the story of what it was like working with you. They don't have to get into the details, but it's more of like, I worked with Allison on my latest sale, and she was great. She kept us calm. She really kept us informed. We felt totally confident throughout the whole process. And, it was a really rewarding experience at the end when we got everything we wanted. I mean, that's just something that would be a really powerful video to be able to put out there and have people really understand what you're all about. On the flip side, you tell the story. I mean, you can tell the story of what it was like working with client X, Y, and Z, and how you really are emotionally attached to this house. You love the house. These people are great. The kids came up to you at the end when you're going, it's like, oh, does that mean Uncle Rob's not going to be coming around anymore? I mean, those are some things that I've heard in the industry before that, you really get in touch with these lives. You're helping them make a big decision. You're helping them make a big move and getting them to the next phase of their life. So tell that story. How'd that make you feel? How did that work? How did the whole thing go? So if you tell those stories are powerful. It gets in touch with the person at their core, and it will resonate with some people. Say, yeah, I really want that in my agent. I really want someone who's emotionally invested with me and wants the best for me moving forward. So telling stories can be really good. Put them out on Facebook, put them out on social media. YouTube is a huge thing. 80% of consumers said that they have found their product on YouTube. So YouTube's becoming a big thing for these kind of things. We're finding, you being able to tell your story and people wanting to watch it. Facebook's more, as Colleen just said, the 1 minute clips, quick, short attention spans. They're scrolling, they're doing all these things. YouTube is where people go to actually watch how-to videos or spend 5 to 10 minutes. They'll watch your video if it's entertaining and will hold their attention. So
And 90% of
YouTube's
agents,
a good place.
yeah,
What's that?
90% of agents are not using YouTube. So
Yeah.
only 10% of agents in the country are doing it.
Right.
So
And it's a platform that you can really do a lot with. So I'd highly suggest looking at YouTube, getting your own channel, and trying to exploit that. So, all right. Colleen, what's your plan?
okay, so then we already did that one before. Pretty much reaching out to buyers. Go to the next one. That's the email. Yeah.
Okay. So we'll go to launch your listings. So this goes back to what we were just talking about. Make sure that when you get a listing, you are doing everything in your power to get it out there. So put it out on all social media, put it out, in every place you can possibly think of. Professional photography in this market is really, really, really easy for listing agents to get lazy, and say, hey, listen, it's going to sell no matter what I do, and I don't have to spend the extra money. Remember, you're investing in your business. With every listing is like your portfolio. So every listing you get is helping you get to that next listing. So, yes, you want to sell it. You want to make sure you're doing the best interest of your seller. But at the same point, you need to be thinking about the next sale. What can you do that's going to set you up? So if you go through and you're just like, oh, hey, I can sell this because, you get cell phone photos and, not worry about the lighting because it's just going to sell anyway because people are just desperate. Well, that's great, but that's going to be seen because people do check your work. And when they, especially the ones that you're in, with 5 or 6 other agents and you guys are kind of grappling for that business, it might come down to them checking out what you did on the last two or three listings, checking you out to see what you've done and how you go about your business. And I would say if you are going about your business the way we're suggesting, make a little portfolio book of your successes. So, put the story in there, put the picture, the professional photography that you've had done for a couple of your listings, and put the results and give it to them as like a little, almost like book resume that you are bringing to your listing. That's going to set you apart because, as I said, a lot of agents are lazy and they just show up and say, hey, listen, I can sell your house in 10 days and I can sell it at ask or above. and that's why you should hire me. And that's great for today, but what are you going to do when the market turns a little bit? And that's what you're trying to set yourself up for. So make sure you put your listings out there, because they are going to get noticed. Make sure you're maximizing it. Don't under market your listings just because it's going to sell quick. Make sure you're putting it out there, so you're, again, establishing yourself. It's putting you in front of people that are already watching you, and you're just gaining that momentum for your own business. All right.
This is wicked cool. Okay, so this is a migration tool. If you literally Google Redfin, Google Redfin migration tool, pull this up, it'll be like the first link that comes up outside of the ads. This kind of shows you can use, this is what you want to use to get more listings. So when you're on a listing presentation, when you Google Redfin migration tool, this here shows, Robbie, able to edit this, like kind of, okay.
Yeah.
So in the first origin, you want to put anywhere, or all, sorry. Destination, I chose Palm Bay. Scroll down. Okay, and then leave that password too. So what this tells you here is that 29.9% of buyers who are looking for places come from Palm Bay. That means that, Rob, scroll up, 70.1% of people looking to buy in that area somewhere else. Well, where are they coming from? So you can see down as you sort of 9.8 are coming from Washington, D.C., and that's a shocker. 8.3 is coming from New York. So knowing this, when you go on your listing presentations, this is really what's going to separate you apart. You can tell your clients are like, this is outside of just the regular kind of marketing locally. I literally have the data of who's looking to come into this area, and I will market like specifically to people in Washington, D.C., specifically to New York, and because that's where like 17% of the people are coming from. They're coming from those two areas alone. So you don't even have to spend that much money to do ads, $10, $20, and that will get you more eyeballs on their property. And it's a really cool, I mean, I guarantee when you're on listing presentations that no one really talks about where buyers are coming from. They kind of just say, hey, I'm going to sell it for you, but they don't really have a strategy. They don't really have a plan. If you Google Redfin migration tools and show this to sellers, you're going to get more listings, because that's a much more targeted, backed by data of how you're going to get more eyes on the property, because sellers want the most amount of money that they can for their property. How can you do that? Well, you're going to target to people who are moving to the area and get more eyes on it, so then possibly bidding more. It's going to drive up the cost of their home, especially in this type of market. I definitely think this is a big tool to have in your listing presentation. And on the flip side, you also, for buyers, can market out to these people, market out to Washington, D.C., New York, and just start like lavishing and talking about how wonderful Florida is. I mean, the difference between the two is people are moving from those places because we have lower taxes. Because of COVID, people they weren't able to go outside as much as we were, so because of the weather. So they want to move to a place where they're able to not only just use it inside of their home, but they're outside of their home. So people are moving to these areas because they aren't so just confined to a place. They're able to go outside 9-10 months out of the year. So that's pretty much it. Like they want space because of all this COVID and all this, like people just being clumped up. And then on top of it, I always just post like property taxes and I do comparison between Florida and the rest of the United States. Like just if it's really sunny out, one of our agents, Timmy, constantly markets to people up north saying, what do you guys, when it snows, actually specifically, she'll say, hey, Massachusetts, how's the weather, when it literally just got whacked. So if you start really just kind of, I think just zoning on one area you want to target on the back end, in addition to listings, but also getting more buyers, and just staying up to date with what's going on with their weather, or if something crazy happened, like politics, what makes us better. And just putting up the differences, people start thinking they want to move this way. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, extra tools, all good. All right, and that's That's what we have for you. So does anyone have any questions? Anything that you're doing that has been unique to the industry so far? Any successes that you're coming across that maybe you can share with some of the new agents? Nope. All right, so we're the more creative bunch, I guess.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, no, Kim's marketing in a few magazines, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, there's, I put something in, just to try it out. There's a sample in both offices. And, you can take a look at it. And it's, but it's, I don't know if it's gonna be any good or not, but I figured I'd throw it in there, gets the exit name out and gives exposure in the luxury market that we're trying to kind of encourage people. So I have a couple of former properties that have sold. One was a big farm and the other was like a ocean side property and then a canal front property, as well as like a 55+ mainland property. So there's a picture of all 4 of those properties on that particular ad. So we'll see how that works. I've got intentions to send out some mailings that are kind of on just sold properties, but you can also do it for just listed, or you can do it for coming soon, or you can do it for using these listings that you had nothing to do with that we sold for your own gain, and put some pictures out saying, I'd like to sell your house, or I'd like to find you a house like this. So it doesn't mean just because you've never done anything that you don't have access to some of these pictures, and you can't put a postcard together, because you absolutely can. Just stay within the agency if possible, or use stock photos. Don't use other agency photos off the MLS, because that's a big no-no. And if I can help anybody, don't hesitate to ask, and please be ready to help me too, because I'm sure I'll have things I need help for too.
Yeah. No, and I honestly think anyone, like, I think we should just all kind of, whatever area you want to focus on, you can literally stand in front of that area and just say a quick minute on what happened in the market in the past 30, 60 days, and act as if you already are the expert. I mean, they don't need to know that if you didn't have any listings, because it doesn't matter. You're just spitting out data on what just happened in the last 60 days, and just be excited about it, and just be like, are you curious as to know how this market has impacted the home pricing of yours? And then you can just get all their property address information. You get all that through RPR, and you can reach out to them, either direct mailers, or you can even go a step further, and True Realtor also has their emails on. So
truth is that as an agent in this marketplace, nobody really knows what to do. I mean, I've certainly had plenty of experience through these different stages, but right now you could take a picture of my hair kind of going straight out, because it's just every other. I mean, I've put in above asking offers and been denied on properties that it wouldn't appraise for.
Mhm.
So, they're cash, they're agreeing to all their terms, and we don't have the immediate nod on it. So it's hard to navigate through a market like that for a lot of reasons. It's hard for the sellers because they see all these big numbers. So you have to be able to consult them as to what makes sense, as to don't just take the biggest offer because you're excited about making extra money. What's important is getting people through the transaction, because anything can happen up until you close, and you're not going to get a paycheck. They're not going to get a paycheck unless it closes. So you want to make sure that you're doing right by them first and foremost, but you're also looking at what logically, realistically can actually happen. And so, there's a lot of experience. If we put all of our heads together, we've got a number of years, in the business. Somebody somewhere in the group is going to have an answer. So don't hesitate to, reach out to your colleagues and peers, because we're all there for you, and we're all in this together.
I have you all on speed dial.
Yay.
Hey, I just
Amy.
wanted to mention real quick, since you were on the marketing thing and the direct mail, I had talked to Rob a little while ago. I'm trying this. I just signed up this month. But as you all know, I retired from the post office. And I used to handle the direct mail, and it can be expensive. I mean, it can be a couple $100 to mail just to one zone. That's not even a whole zip code. But there's a door-to-door direct mail. Oh, a dolphin just jumped out in front of me. Oh my God, that's so cool. So sorry, I love dolphins. This door-to-door direct mail is for businesses to advertise in it, and it's going through all of Vero Beach. So it's only $120 to have your business card or your ad put in it for 3 months, and it's going to everybody in Vero Beach rather than spend a couple $100 to hit just one zone. So I'm gonna try it for $120. I'm not out a lot, but I'll be in every mailbox in Vero Beach for 3 months.
Wow.
Good.
Go ahead.
Good tip.
All right.
How would
Well, we
somebody do
are.
that, Timmy?
What's that?
How does somebody go about doing that? Do they go to the post office directly and
No, this
Or is
is the
there-
Vero Beach magazine.
Vero Beach
All right,
Magazine?
we'll send out those instructions, and how to go about doing that. But we're right up at 12:30. So if you got to take off, we keep it right to from 12 to 12:30. So if anyone has any questions, I'll hang out for a couple of minutes, and you can just stay on. Otherwise, everyone have a great week, and we'll talk to you guys soon. And let us know if you have any questions navigating this crazy market.
Thank you.
Bye, y'all.
Thank you. Hey, Rob,
Everybody.
are
Yes,
you
Debbie.
gonna, can you send us the Zoom?
Yeah, so you should have we've been putting it in that Zoom Gmail link, the Google link. So if you don't have that, just shoot me a note and I'll make sure that we resend you that link. So we have all of our recorded stuff in that one that you can kind of just go back and watch at your leisure.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Cool. Any other questions, or we can end it? All right.
Thanks.
Bye,
Thank you.
everyone. Bernadette, happy birthday yesterday. I missed her.
It's gone.